How long has this been in the line?
This is a record for how long a board has run a shape. And just due to the fact that it's had such a strong response. Normally, you like to keep things fresh. People always ask what's the new shape like, what's the new shape like. And people have kind of asked that just because they want to be in the know. But this thing has been in pretty big demand.
This is your 18th Pro model?
Yes.
And so you guys, Hyperlite was born in '91. So we're 23 this year. We're almost coming up on our 25th anniversary. And Shaun has been with us longer than anybody. And so, over time you kind of get used to, one, you get used to something, but two, we've almost perfected something here. I really think that this is a board that you can put anybody on and you're not going to have a bad experience. You know how you ever heard somebody like, hey, what do you think about that board? And they're like, oh, I loved it after I learned how to ride it. Okay, that will never happen with a Murray shape, I can guarantee, because we want the experience to be, I could just learn how to wakeboard and feel comfortable on that shape. So I want, for you guys, I would feel comfortable putting anybody on this board and know that you're going to have a pretty good experience. And it's just user-friendly. We got user-friendly features. We have soft landing spine. We have a variable edge, meaning that the edge changes as it runs from tip to tail. In between your feet, it's rolled up. So you turn the board sideways, you're not going to catch an edge. But underneath your foot, the rail is sharp, and it's even a little bit sharper at the tip and tail. So when you are on edge, the board's going to hold. And I think that plus the rocker line, those three things make this board the user-friendly shape that it is.
Yeah, I put first timers, anybody who's never ridden before, I put them on this board. People who are at high level get on this board. I grab it stock off the shelf, and that's what I go compete on. You'll see me on my board. I like to do this side slide at a really high speed, and I don't do that on any other board because it doesn't have this lack of bottom design. I like to do that and get farther up on the boat when I really want to rail it. I can get a passive driver, set my edge, and then get going just for a lot of speed. I also like to just do it in the whip and see how fast I can. But you can see the reason it has that, it's hard to tell from here, but there's a high spine here. So we basically have rocker in every direction. And this is my boat show thing. Watch your feet here. This is why you can see that the board is really just riding on a very small amount. And what that does is it always wants to find equal pressure. So if you take a spoon and you hit the water, it's going to send water out in every direction. Now you're walking a fine line. If you do it too much, it's going to be slow. But if you take that same spoon, put it onto the side, you hit it, it wants to roll back to the spot. You'll sometimes get on boards that have pretty aggressive rocker lines, and so they get very explosive and pop. But because of that big flat spot, depending on where you're standing on the board, you can cut an entirely different place in the board, and so it feels a little inconsistent. Because of how this rides, and it wants to find that equal pressure, it rides the same every time you go into the wave. We also, Greg didn't mention, what we did was, we did a 3-stage rocker boat with no flat spot. I'm a big believer in having the board continually bend so that it does have those softer landings and that consistent cut. But we did want to increase the rocker under the feet. So it still is rounded here, but as you get to here, it increases. So we get 3-stage pop with the software.